of the young ones.
A Kenyan journalist and blogger is now calling for the release of his wife from Israeli custody. This follows the recent interception of a fleet of small ships by Israeli forces which were headed into Gaza to deliver aid. James Murui now says his wife, a South African national who has been living in Kenya since 2011, was among those detained in Israel. Here is more on that.
When the Israeli forces recently intercepted the global Sumud flotilla full of humanitarian aid and human rights activists, it caused an uproar. Protests rocked Middle East and Western capitals as calls for the release of the detainees mounted. Now, journalist James Murui says his wife was among those who are still being held by Israeli authorities. His wife, Zukiswa Wana, who he claims was born and raised in the Middle East, has clearly been vocal on the ongoing conflict in Gaza, if her socials are anything to go by.
Have been kidnapped by the Israeli occupying forces and taken to Israel. Please tell the South African government to get me released.
But a statement from the Israeli embassy in Kenya, which was attributed to the country's foreign affairs ministry, the people aboard the flotilla were up to no good beyond provocation. It also says the activists refused to change course despite being warned.
On the night of October 1st, she was on the global Sumud flotilla, which was trying to supply aid to the people of Gaza, when she was kidnapped by the Israeli military forces.
The Gaza Freedom Flotilla comprised 40 vessels and had at least 500 participants from 44 countries. Swedish climate campaigner Greta Thunberg is one of the prominent figures among those detained by Israeli authorities.
If you are watching this video, I have been abducted and taken against my will by Israeli forces.
Israel said the global Sumud flotilla was directed to its own port to allow activists to be processed and later deported. Meanwhile, hope for a lasting ceasefire between Israel and Gaza is growing after it emerged that Hamas has accepted to release all Israeli hostages, dead and alive, as part of the proposal by U.S. President Donald Trump. Esther Diana, KTN, Nairobi.
Thank you, Esther, for that story. But now let's take a short commercial break. We'll be back with much more right here on Weekend Prime.